5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All systems go with Josh Appelbaum starts now.
Hello and welcome to episode 436 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. I am your host, Josh Appelbaum. What's going on, everyone? Happy Tuesday, another day here in the arena, guys. We got a lot to get to on today's podcast. We're going to focus on some college basketball. That's right, I was looking at the slate earlier today when I was writing the Sharp Report for VSiN.com, about 35 games overall, and I was noticing a lot of sharp moves on late games. So I'm just warning you right now, put on a pot of coffee, get your Dunks iced coffee, and stay up late with me because I have 3 sweats for you in college basketball. 2 games are at 9 o'clock Eastern time, and 1 game is at 11 o'clock Eastern time. So hopefully we can get 2 out of 3, eke out a winning night, which is always the goal. But really, guys, we're going to focus a lot on college basketball because to me, once you get, obviously, college football ending, which, by the way, we'll get to Miami. Epic cover last night. But once college football is over with, of course, NFL, we got a huge Sunday coming up, Championship Sunday, then the Super Bowl. There's only 3 NFL games left, 2 on Sunday, Super Bowl. And, of course, then you'll have really a laser focus, what we'll try to focus on, which is college basketball. Because once football is winding down and ends, you know, again, if you're like me in New England, like it's freezing cold and you got like a foot of snow, and we're going to get even more snow and freezing cold weather. But not too far off is baseball. Pitchers and catchers will be about only like 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away. But then we will have win totals to talk about. But really, we're going to focus on college hoops because we want to get ready for conference tournaments and, of course, March Madness. And when you're deep into the winter like me in New England, you got to have something to look forward to. So I'm looking forward to the good weather, March Madness, and, of course, baseball, which feels far away, but it's not that far away. So a 3-pack of college today. Going to try to go 2-1, which is always the goal. Looking back to our last night, guys, finished off the college football season in style because Miami covered the number for us. You love to see it. But that was a play that we identified way back on Thursday, Friday, and we really did a good job. I think it ended up not mattering because Miami ended up losing by 6, 27-21. So, again, that line opened around 7.5. We had a huge public play toward the Hoosiers, got up to 8.5. But why we jumped on it late last week was that we saw it start to creep back down toward 8, and actually closed down to 7.5. And one book even touched 7, I believe. So that was just kind of a Hall of Fame classic contrarian play. We're only about 23% of spread bets were on Miami, so automatically we want to fade the drunk guys at the bar who just are saying, yeah, hammer the Hoosiers, they're going to win by double digits. But we stayed true to our contrarian mindset. We had the late sharp movement back toward Miami, ended up beating the closing line by a decent margin. And then also, shout out to our friends at Rhythm. If you remember, mentioning it on the pod, but also from the Rhythm live stream, the Rhythm Rundown, which you do every Thursday. Last Thursday, my buddy Cade and I were talking about it, and we're saying, okay, everyone's playing Hoosiers, therefore, automatically, we want to go Miami. But at the time, and leading up until kickoff, Rhythm was always saying, you know, the play there is Miami, because there were 2 system matches, both recommended plays on Miami. One had Miami plus 2.9, one had Miami plus 4.2. So if you remember, it was a 3-point game at one point. Thank God, you know, Indiana was going down deep late in the game, and if they score a touchdown, we lose by 10 and don't cover, but they kick a field goal. So again, Rhythm really nailed that one. 2.9, 4.2. You got an 8.5, 7.5, and 8, somewhere around there, covered the number. So it's always nice to finish up a season strong, win a championship game, just kind of gets you excited. And number one, you already are missing college football, but gets you excited to pick up where we left off starting next season, which, again, is quite a ways away. But either way, guys, as we won our final game with Miami, losing but covering the number, let's focus now, of course, on college basketball. So a 3-pack overall. I mentioned it before. Let's try to get 2 out of 3, eke out a winning night. So first bet on the board for me, I told you these are all late night games if you're like me on the East Coast, so get ready to stay up late tonight. But first one on the board, 9 p.m. Eastern time, we got SMU visiting Wake Forest. Let's set the stage, talk split, system matches, and I'll give you my play for this one. So SMU comes in 13-5. They have dropped 3 of their last 4, however, just lost to Virginia, 72-68, did not cover as a 2-point home dog. Meanwhile, Wake, 11-7 on the year, did just snap a 2-game losing skid, though, with a 69-68 win over Florida State. Didn't cover, though, as a 1.5-point road favorite. So what have you seen across the market here? Well, this game opened SMU listed around a 1.5-point road favorite. And the public just thinks SMU is the far better team. They had been ranked for a good portion of the year. They have a better record, 13-5 versus Wake, 11-7. So public is just saying, hey, this line's too low. Let's hit SMU. SMU should be, favored by 3 or 4. However, even though 71% of spread bets are backing the Mustangs are not up to -2, -3. No, this line has kind of gone the other way. We've now seen Wake Forest go from +1.5 now to some shops -1, some shops -1.5. Now, this number has been all over the place, I fully admit, and you have some opportunities here because I am seeing, let me just give an example. BetMGM has Wake -1.5. FanDuel has Wake +1.5, -128. DraftKings has Wake +1.5, -122. But Caesars has Wake -1. The Score has Wake -1.5. Ballybet has Wake -0.5 point. So this is the ultimate game where, to me, the play is Wake Forest. I'll continue to explain why. But it's also an example of getting the best price because you have options here. You could go money line Wake. You could lay a, -1, -110 on Wake. You could also get Wake at +1.5, juiced up -120, -128. So it depends on your preference here. But just building the case, regardless, we're seeing liability and movement toward Wake Forest, even though SMU is the big public play, getting 71% of tickets. That's the meat and potatoes of why I want to fade SMU popular and go with that unpopular sharp RLM play with Wake Forest. Now, Wake Forest only getting 29% of spread bets, but 62% of spread dollars at DraftKings. So really good low bets, higher dollars, sharp contrarian split. This is a 9 o'clock game, pretty heavily bet. So you have that contrarian opportunity as well. Not quite like Miami last night, but still a heavily bet late night game in college. Also, you look over at Circa, 50% spread bets, but 95% of spread dollars are on Wake Forest. So both DraftKings and Circa, low bets, higher dollars, line moving toward Wake. Technically, you could say Wake is, again, this is where it gets nitty gritty because, Wake technically is a dog at some shops, +1.5. So therefore, they would be a home conference dog with a line move in their favor, 50 and 35 ATS, 59%, 13% ROI this year. But again, some shops are now -1, -1.5 Wake. So this line's all over the place. So it becomes a decision to you of how you want to play Wake Forest. Now, Wake does have the better defensive efficiency, 47th in the country versus 83rd. They force a higher percentage of turnovers, 12th versus 89th. And then again, home road, very important to me. Home, Wake Forest is 8-3. Road, SMU is 1-3. So you have options here. You can go money line Wake, -110, -115. You could go +1.5 at -110, -120, -130. I jumped on Wake +1.5, -118. That was at Ballybet earlier today. So to me, the whole point is, do you want to pay a little more juice to protect yourself just because if Wake loses by 1, you want to cash that? Or do you want to be a little bit more bold? You still have a +1.5, -122 at DraftKings, which would be your best number. So I'm sweating the +1.5 because to me it was worth a little more juice just on the off chance. Again, odds makers are saying it could be basically a pick'em game. But if you wanted to go money line, you wanted to go -1, totally up to you. But I did take Wake +1.5 at -118. So let's go Demon Deacons. Next one for you, another 9 o'clock Eastern time game. Yeah, another one. 9 o'clock, we got Georgia visiting Mizzou. Now, Georgia comes in 15-3 on the year, ranked 21st in the country. They've rotated wins and losses, however, over their last 4 games. Just beat up on Arkansas 90-76, easily covered as a 2.5-point home favorite. On the other hand, Mizzou, 13-5 on the year, unranked. They have dropped 2 of their last 3 and just came up short against LSU 78-70, did not cover as a 1.5-point road dog. So what have you seen across the market here? Well, this game opened basically Mizzou around and again, here's another game where just these lines are all over the place. You're not really getting a consensus with either SMU Wake or Georgia Mizzou. But anyway, we opened most shops around -1 Mizzou. And right off the bat, that's important to me. Because Missouri, yes, they have home court advantage, but they're unranked 13-5. Why should they be favored against the 15-3 ranked 21st Georgia Bulldogs team? Public is saying automatically the wrong team is favored. So you're getting 62% of spread bets going with Georgia. However, even though Georgia's getting the majority tickets, we've pretty much stayed -1.5 with Mizzou. -1 with some books up to -1.5 Mizzou. Now, the reason why I say it's all over the place is because I do see BetMGM offering Missouri +1.5 -125. So there are like some outlier books still giving you the 1.5 really juiced up. But most of these books are -1 -1.5 Mizzou, even though Public is on Georgia. So long story short, if you like the spot Wake is in, Public SMU line going to Wake, you like Mizzou as well. Public Georgia line going to Mizzou. Now, Mizzou is kind of showing that line freeze with the majority tickets Georgia, but pretty much stayed the same or ticked up toward Missouri. But also we have good splits. At DraftKings, only 38% of spread bets, but 48% of spread dollars are on Mizzou. There'd also be a top bet against the Public play. This is one of the most heavily bet games of the night, and majority tickets are on Georgia, so I want to go with Missouri here. You look at the splits at DK, 35% bets, money line play here. Because, again, I don't want to lay a 1.5 win by one. I lose or push my bet. So I really like the money line play here. My play was Mizzou on the money line. I got him at -105 a little bit earlier today. Again, it's up to you. If you want to go +1.5, -125 at BetMGM, I'm not going to argue with you. Just that's getting a little bit expensive, and I figured, hey, money line -105 was a pretty short price. Well, now you're seeing most money lines around -110, -115, so still not a very expensive play. But the money line tickets look really good at DK. 35% bets, 70% dollars on Missouri. Missouri is the classic buy low value play as an unpopular ranked home team against a sell high ranked and trendy road team. You technically would now be the unranked home fave versus ranked opponent system that we love. It's 5-2 ATS this year. It's also 5-2 straight up. It is 65%, 6% ROI straight up. I believe since, 2020. And then lastly, Mizzou, a perfect 11-0 at home. So again, we've kind of had these lines all over the place. It tells me that, again, you're just maybe taking different action or, different clientele, trending or juicing or shading this line toward either the Public side or the sharp side. But Public's all over Georgia. They're the ranked team. They're the better team, right? But no, Mizzou has stayed pretty steady, -1, -1.5. So I did play Mizzou on the money line, -105, and hopefully they can play well at home again, which they are 11-0 so far this season. I forgot to mention too with Wake. Wake had a 17% sharp mush edge from our friends at Juice Rail. Now, last play of the night, the late night sweat, one of the sharpest plays of the night. Can't wait to play this one. Kansas and Colorado. Now, going into it, we got Kansas 13-5, ranked 19th. They've won 2 straight, just brushed aside Baylor, came up huge. If you remember, I think that was Friday night. We laid the -7.5. They won by 18, so that was great, covering that 7.5 point home favorite chalk. On the other side, Colorado 12-6. They've dropped 3 in a row. Just fell to West Virginia 72-61. Did not cover as a 6.5 point road dog. So what have we seen across the market for this one? Well, this game opened Kansas listed around a 5-point road favorite, and Public is hammering Kansas. Kansas is getting 84% of spread bets at DK. This is your one of the latest games of the night. This is also an ESPN game, and everybody and their mother is on Kansas. Again, 84%. However, even though you're getting such heavy betting on Kansas, Kansas is not up -5 to -6, -7. No, this line's dropping. It's going down toward Colorado. Colorado's gone, even though they're only getting 16% of spread bets. Again, just stop right there. 16% of bets in an ESPN game, automatically I want to play Colorado. But you add this element of smart money where only 16% of bets are on the Buffs. However, they've gone from +5 down to +4.5. I'm seeing BetMGM now go down to 3.5. You could still get, I believe, a 5 at Caesars. I jumped on Colorado +5.5 earlier today from DraftKings. But still, I'll play him at 5 or even 4.5 because this is such a sharp move with the line going to the Buffs, even though Public is all over Kansas. You look at kind of the buy low, sell high opportunity here. You have an unranked home dog, Colorado, against a sell high ranked opponent on a winning streak. So not only is Colorado, lost 3 straight, we can buy low on them, but we can sell high on Kansas, who had that big cover against, and they had that big. And again, I love Kansas. Here's the thing about being a sports bettor. I'm betting against Kansas tonight, but took them as a dog against Iowa State. They came through. Took them as a favorite against Baylor. They came through. We got to be prepared to bet on a team one night and then bet against them the other if the data backs it up. Additionally, we have Colorado with a few edges here, stat-wise. Better effective field goal percentage, 73rd versus 82nd. Better turnover percentage, 37th versus 52nd. So they take a little bit better care of the ball. Better offensive rebound percentage, 87th versus 250th. And better free throw shooting, which could be big in a tight game, 20th versus 61st. Home road, Colorado is 9-2 at home. Kansas 1-3 on the road. So that hopefully that altitude is a benefit here toward the Buffs. And one little thing to know about here is that Bill Self is not going to coach this game. Fantastic coach. I was actually looking up his career stats, his career win-loss records. The guy's incredible. Obviously, we all know how good he is. But he was hospitalized with an undisclosed illness. So it sounds like he's going to be okay, but he did not travel for this game. So you don't have your leader, your commander-in-chief for this one. I think that's a negative for Kansas. If things get a little dicey there, who are they going to lean on? Obviously, one of the backup or assistant coaches will coach, but you're missing your coach. Noticed as well, 8% sharp mush edge on Colorado at Juice Reel. But what I really like is that our friends at Rhythm have a Green Star Smart Signal recommended play on the Buffs. And that signal is showing a prediction of Colorado plus 3.7. So you can still get a 4.5. You should be able to still get a 5 at Caesars. Again, I jumped on 5.5 earlier today, but I'm loving this Colorado sharp move. Public all over Kansas, but line falling to the Buffs. So again, 5.5, 5. You can at least get the 4.5. Let's make everyone happy. Can Colorado win the game outright? Lose by 4 or less, or maybe 3 or less. That's the goal. But I got the Buffs and the points here. So we got a Wake plus 1.5 minus 118. Again, maybe you go money line there. Mizzou money line and Colorado plus the points. Let's see if we can get 2 of those teams to come through for us. So that about does it for episode 436 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast powered by Rhythm. This is the part of the pod where we wrap things up and always start first by saying thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, out of your busy lives. You got a lot going on. I know you do, but you find 25 minutes to tune in and sweat some sharp data-driven breakdowns with me. So that means a lot to me, and I really appreciate you guys. If you do enjoy the pod, could you help me grow this podcast? Doing a very simple thing, give it a 5-star review. Whether you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or any other platform, 5 stars goes a long way. If you want to leave a nice comment under the review tab, click the follow button, recommend the pod to a friend, retweet the pod when I tweet it out at Josh_insights. That would all be very much appreciated. Next, if you enjoy this style of betting breakdown, data-driven, sharp contrarian betting, focusing on what the market, the numbers, not what our gut is telling us, trying to take a contrarian approach, leaning on splits, system matches, line movement, AI models, and predictions. If that's the case and you want to learn more about data-driven betting, or you want to get ready for the AFC-NFC Championship game, or get ready for the Super Bowl, then I would love for you to go to Amazon.com and type in the NFL Sharp Betting Playbook. That's my second book. Very proud of it. You could also pick up my first book. It's called The Everything Guide to Sports Betting. But if you want to grab one or the other, or both, and be a hero, it would mean a lot to me. And all you got to do is bring them to the sports book. I'll sign them for you. I'll buy you a beer or a ginger ale. We'll get some nachos. We'll sweat some of these games together tonight. That sounds pretty good to me. Next, have you downloaded Rhythm and Juice Reel yet? My 2 favorite sports betting apps, Rhythm for their AI-backed models and predictions for game bets and player props, Juice Reel for a bunch of different awesome reasons. Number one being, if you'd like to support the pod and drop a $5 bill in the tip jar, go sign up to get the All Systems Go official best bet picks from Juice Reel. It costs $4.99 a week, so $5 for 7 days worth of plays. And you would have gotten that 5.5 with Colorado earlier today. So that's the whole point of getting the plays, supporting the pod, but also getting these bets as soon as I make them, which then gives you the opportunity, hopefully, to get some closing line value. You're also going to get the Robo Jackson best bet picks with Juice Reel, the shop for the best line futures, the arbitrage plays, as well as the sharp mush edges. So download Rhythm and download Juice Reel and give them a 5-star review in the App Store while you're at it. Next, you have a live odds page. If you don't have one, you need one. You got to be able to track the market. Figure out, okay, what are all the sports and games being played today? start times. I need live scoring when the game gets going. I need live in-game wagering odds that update automatically as I'm watching the game and keeping one eye on the odds page. But really for me, guys, I love being able to track the market. What did the line open at? You got an open column on the left that never changes. That's your starting point, your reference point. All the current odds across the market at different books to the right. Quickly see which direction the line has moved. Tap the each box with your mouse or your finger. Pull up the line history. See all the moves in between. But shop for the best price. Find that book still giving you +5 on Colorado, and most books are at 4.5 because it could be the difference between a win and a loss. So if you'd like to give Odds Logic a shot, in my opinion, I'm a proud Odds Logic affiliate. It's the best live odds page around. So if you want to try it out, make sure you go to this special link, oddslogic.com/Josh123. That'll give you a 7-day free trial and 50% off your first month of service. Next, have you tried Novig yet? Novig is a sports betting exchange. It's not a sports book, so there's a big difference here. It acts and feels like a sports book because you download the app, you log in, all the games are there, you fund your account, you pick what you want to bet. Difference is you're going to get way better juice prices. So instead of laying -115, -120, -130 with a sports book, you're going to lay -102, +105, -106 because you're not going up against the house, the greedy house, because we have no choice to bet at all those books but pay the juice that we have to pay. But at the Novig Sports Betting Exchange, you're going up against other bettors, so you're not at the mercy of those -115s, -120s, which means you're going to win at the same exact rate. Like, let's say you're 54% with all your bets at, FanDuel, and you're 54% all your bets at Novig. Well, guess what? You're going to make more money at Novig because you're risking less juice. That's the whole point. So if you want to download Novig, when you fund your account, there should be a little promo code, little box there. Put in Josh123 and hit save, hit submit. Boom, it'll add on $25 for you. So that about does it for episode 436 of the ASG pod on a big Tuesday. As always, guys, 2 final thoughts. 1, whether I see you at the Borgata in Atlantic City, Twin River in Rhode Island, the Brook in New Hampshire, Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun down in Connecticut, at the Encore in Boston, Plainridge Park Casino, MGM Springfield, the Nash in my neck of the woods on the border of Nashville, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts, or out in the desert where the true grinders get down, where Billy Walters sends his number runners, where the lowest juice possible is found at the South Point, or Sweat and Sharp Contrarian plays, jumping in the stadium swim pool when they cash a big ticket at Circa. Wherever it may be, you're going to walk up to me, and we're going to make that sign with our hands. The U, baby. You're going to show me a Miami ticket plus 8.5. Not only was it a cover, not only was it a win, but we crushed that closing line, getting 8.5, closing 7.5. So show me that Miami ticket. First one's on me, next one's on you. We'll post about the book. So that's some college hoops together. So as always, guys, coming off a 1-0 night or an 0-1 night, a winning night, a losing night, a hot streak, a cold streak, whether we're grinding and we feel like we can't miss, or grinding and feel like we just can't get anything to go our way, that's life, that's sports betting. There's ups and downs. We've got to stick with it, stay disciplined with our bankroll, and play the system matches. Avoid the games, lay off the games that have red flags. But if we can find the games that fit our model against the public, with the house, with the pros, flat bet, no parlays, and get that CLV, if we can do that, we're going to be successful sports bettors. So have a great Tuesday night, everybody. We'll be right back at it tomorrow. Halfway through our work week, a little hump day action. That'll be episode 437 on Wednesday of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. Good luck, everybody, and enjoy the Tuesday night college hoops. Good luck.